What if I told you that some of the scariest horror movies ever made weren't just works of imagination? What if the nightmares on screen were based on events that actually happened in real life? Tonight, we're diving into 5 terrifying horror movies inspired by true stories. And trust me, the real events are far darker than the films. Stay with me until the end, because number 1 will change the way you watch horror forever. Let's start with one of the most famous horror franchises of all time, The Conjuring. The movie tells the chilling story of the Perron family, who moved into an old farmhouse in Rhode Island in the 1970s. Strange things began to happen. Doors slamming, whispers in the dark, and a terrifying presence that seemed to focus on the mother, Carolyn Perron. Paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, yes, real people, were called to help. They claimed the house was haunted by the spirit of Bathsheba Sherman, a woman rumored to have practiced witchcraft and even sacrificed a child. In the film, the Warrens perform an exorcism, but in real life, the Perron family lived with the haunting for nearly a decade before finally escaping. To this day, the current owners of the house say the dark energy is still there. The scariest part? Some of the cast and crew claimed they experienced paranormal activity while filming. Reality bleeding into fiction. Next is The Exorcism of Emily Rose, a film that shocked audiences with its terrifying possession scenes. But did you know it was based on the real case of Anneliese Michel? In 1976, Anneliese, a young German woman, began experiencing violent convulsions and hallucinations. Doctors diagnosed her with epilepsy, but she and her deeply religious family believed it was something darker. Priests were called, and over the course of a year, they performed 67 exorcisms. Anneliese spoke in strange voices, claimed to see demons, and even refused food, saying the entities wouldn't allow her to eat. Tragically, she died of malnutrition at just 23 years old. The case caused massive controversy. Her parents and the priests were put on trial for negligent homicide. The movie toned down some details, but the real recordings of Anneliese's exorcisms are so disturbing, many people say they can't listen to them at night. Coming in at number 3 is the Amityville Horror. The film follows the Lutz family, who move into a seemingly perfect house in New York, only to face terrifying hauntings, from ghostly apparitions to swarms of flies. But here's the true story. In 1974, just a year before the Lutz family arrived, the house was the site of a horrific tragedy. A young man named Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his parents and 4 siblings while they slept. When the Lutz family moved in, they claimed doors would slam shut, voices whispered from nowhere, and a demonic pig-like creature appeared in the house. They fled after just 28 days. Skeptics say the story was exaggerated for profit, but the murders were very real, and the house still standing today. At number 2, the infamous Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Most people think Leatherface is pure fiction, but the inspiration came from a very real man, Ed Gein, also known as the Butcher of Plainfield. In the 1950s, police entered Gein's farmhouse in Wisconsin and discovered a nightmare: furniture made of human bones, bowls crafted from skulls, masks stitched from human skin. Gein admitted to robbing graves and murdering women. His crimes inspired not only Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but also Psycho and Silence of the Lambs. The movie may have exaggerated the chainsaw-wielding killer, but the true horror of Ed Gein's house was far worse than any film could show. And finally, number 1, The Exorcist, often called the scariest movie ever made. Released in 1973, it shocked audiences with its story of a young girl possessed by a demon. But what most people don't know, it was based on a real exorcism. In 1949, a 14-year-old boy, known by the pseudonym Roland Doe, began experiencing strange phenomena, objects moving on their own, mysterious scratches appearing on his body, and guttural voices coming from his mouth. Priests performed over 30 exorcisms on the boy. Witnesses claimed his bed shook violently, words appeared carved into his skin, and he spoke in languages he had never learned. The church confirmed parts of the story, but kept much of it secret. The Exorcist movie was so disturbing that some audience members fainted in theaters, and several cast members claimed accidents and deaths followed the production. Even today, many say the real exorcism of Roland Doe remains one of the darkest cases in church history. So there you have it, 5 of the most terrifying horror movies, each rooted in real events more disturbing than fiction. Which of these stories haunted you the most? The Conjuring's haunted farmhouse, Emily Rose's tragic exorcism, or the chilling reality behind The Exorcist? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into horror inspired by true stories, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, and ring the bell so you never miss a mystery. Because remember, sometimes the scariest movies aren't just stories, they're warnings.